The screen says the average weight of 15 iron bars is 1000 kg. Okay, if the heaviest iron bar is removed, the average weight is reduced by 5 kg. Find the weight in kg of the heaviest iron bar. Now quickly, this basically is from statistics. Okay, now average basically means mean. Remember, the mean, okay, the mean of a number basically is a sum, okay, over the amount. The sum of the numbers divided by the amount of numbers given. Okay, so the symbol for mean we use is x bar. Okay, and it's equal to the summation of x divided by n. So we're going to apply this formula throughout in this question. Now we're told that we have 15 iron bars. So the number of iron bars are 15. Okay, and the average was 1000. Okay, so quickly, the first case we have average as 1000. We don't know the sum, so we're going to say the sum of the 15 we don't know, but the numbers were 15. Okay, so quickly let's find the sum of the 15 iron bars. We're going to cross multiply, so the sum of the 15 iron bars should be 15,000 kilograms. Okay, we're going to keep this at one point. Now they said that the heaviest iron bar is removed, okay, the heaviest one, and then the average weight, that means the mean again, is reduced by 5 kg. So if you remove an iron bar, you're going to have 14 iron bars left. So now quickly, the new average weight was 5 less than the initial average weight. So we're going to have 995 as our new average weight, right? Okay, and that should be equal to the sum. Now we have 14, not 15, because we removed one. Okay, divided by what? By 14. So quickly, we're going to cross multiply, and we're going to get, let's see, the sum of the 14 iron bars now is going to be 14 times 995, and let's see what that gives us. Okay, quickly calculate 14 times 995, that gives us 13,930 kilograms. Okay, 13,930 kilograms. Now quickly, the difference or the reduction of the value is because we removed the heaviest iron bar. So obviously the weight of the heaviest iron bar will be the difference in these two values. So quickly, the weight of the heaviest iron bar is going to be 15,000 minus 13,930. Okay, so let's subtract that. We're going to have the answer to be 1070 kg. So this becomes the answer to this question. Okay guys, question number 13. Okay, yeah, as shown on the screen, it says find the sum of the entries of the inverse of, so we'll have a matrix. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 5. We have a matrix 1, 2, 3, and 5, and we're asked to find the sum of the entries of the inverse. So quickly, we're going to find the inverse of this matrix. Okay, so not to waste time, the inverse of a matrix is the adjoint of that matrix divided by the determinant for a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so how do you find the adjoint? If you are given a matrix, for example, as A, B, C, and D, the adjoint to this matrix is, we're going to swap A for D. We're going to have D here, and we're going to have A here. And then we're going to use the negative sign to multiply the other guys, B and C. We're going to have negative B and negative C. Okay, then determinant is just cross multiplying. So A times D, AD, minus B times C, BC. So this is how you get the inverse. So quickly, we're going to do that for this question. Okay, so the inverse of this matrix should become, okay, you're going to swap 5 for 1. So we have 5 and we have 1. And we're going to have minus 2 and minus 3. And then quickly, 1 times 5 is 5, minus 2 times 3 is 6. You're going to have something like 5 minus 2 minus 3 and 1, all divided by minus 1. Okay, now I'm going to use minus 1 to divide the value. So the inverse becomes minus 5, positive 2, positive 3, and minus 1. Now this is the inverse. And then quickly, we are finding the sum of the entries. Okay, the sum, we're going to add all the numbers inside the metric. So the sum becomes minus 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus minus 1, and your answer should be minus 1. Okay, so that becomes the answer to the question. Okay, number 14. A varies directly as b squared when a equals b, so when a equals 4 rather, sorry, and b equals 1. Find a when b equals 2. Okay, so quickly under variation again. So quickly we're going to say a varies directly as b. We have a varying directly as b squared rather, sorry, directly as b squared, direct variation. So quickly let's bring out our expression. This looks like something you call Boy's law. Okay, P1 V1, but it should be Charles law. Okay, Charles law for direct, so V1 over T1. So we're going to say from here we should have A1 over B1 squared equals A2 over B2 squared. So no waste time. Okay, once you have direct variation, we are applying the ratio. So quickly, they gave you the A1 as 4 and the B1 was 1, so 1 squared remains 1, and we are finding the A2, okay, but the B2 is 2, so 2 squared. Okay, so 4 over 1 is still 4. We have A over 2 squared is 4. You're going to cross multiply. A times 1 equals A. 4 times 4 equals 16. So the answer to that question is 16. Number 15. If I is a 2 by 2 identity matrix, find the determinant of the matrix. Now quickly, the identity matrix for a 2 by 2 is basically 1 0 then 0 1. Okay, for this guy. So we have to find the determinant. The answer should be 1, but let's solve that. Okay, so the determinant of this guy is going to be, remember we're of course multiplying, so 1 times 1 equals 1 minus 0 times 0 is 0. The answer is 1. Okay, that's simple. Next question. Okay, number 16. The determinant of the matrix A is minus 5. Find the value of P. Okay, so quickly, let's find the determinant. Now, to not waste time, we'll have plus, minus, and plus, applying the Cramer's rule. So we're going to have 2, and then open a bracket. Now, the way we solve this kind of question with 3 by 3 matrices, you're going to pick the first number here, and then the numbers underneath and the number by the side will not matter to you. Okay, so if I pick minus 2, these guys and these guys will matter to me. So these guys, I'm going to work with them. I'm going to apply the one for 2 by 2 matrix. So I'm going to say 2 times 2 gives you 4, minus 1 times 4 gives you 4. Okay, move on to minus 3, and then same pattern again. The guys underneath and by the side won't matter. So we have P and 2, 1 and 1. So P times 2 gives you 2P, 1 times 1 gives you 1. Okay, and then the last one is plus 1, open a bracket, and then this guy won't matter. So P times 4 gives you 4P, minus 2 times 1 gives you 2. Okay, and all this must be equal to minus 5. Okay, now already the first bracket, 4 minus 4 is 0, so everything here should become 0. Okay, so we're going to have minus 6P plus 3, okay, from this guy, then plus 4P minus 2 equals minus 5. Okay, now minus 6P plus 4P will give you minus 2P, and then 3 minus 2 is 1, so 1 crosses over, going to become minus 5 minus 1. So we have minus 2P equals minus 6. So we're going to take out negative 2 on both sides. Okay, so P for this question should be equal to 3. Okay, the next question. Okay, number 17. It says the mean of the numbers 0x plus 2, 3x plus 6, and 4x plus 8 is 4. Find the value of x. Now, we said before previously that mean is the sum of the numbers over the amount of numbers given. So let's get the sum first. So the mean should be, we're going to add 0, 2, x plus 2, and then 3x plus 6, and then 4x plus 8. Okay, all over. Now how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 numbers here, so divided by 4 must be equal to 4. That's the mean, 4. In case you're confused from the way it was arranged in the question, 0 is the first number, x plus 2 is the second number, 3x plus 6 is the third, and 4x plus 8 is the fourth. Okay, so now quickly you're going to simplify this stuff by then cross multiply. Quickly, x plus 3x is 4x plus another 4x, we have 8x plus 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 8 is 16. Wow, equals 4 times 4 gives you 16. Let's see. X plus 3x is 4x, 8x. Okay, 2, 6, That's 8, 8, okay? So 8x becomes equal to 0. So basically, from the way the question is arranged, x should just be equal to 0. X should be equal to 0. Okay. Number 18. Obtain the equation of a straight passing through 3, 15, whose slope, that's gradient, is 3 whole number 1 over 5. Now already previously, I gave you the formulas for coordinate geometry. You can take the video back and screenshot the formulas. Okay, so quickly, remember we have y minus y1, okay, over x minus x1 equals to our slope or gradient. Okay, so from the coordinates given to us, we have y minus the y1 there is 15, and then x minus x1 is 3 equals to, we're going to convert that guy to a proper fraction. So 5 times 3, rather, we have 3 over number 1 with 5. So let me know what she, okay? So now you're going to convert this to a proper fraction. We have y minus 15 divided by x minus 3. Okay, 5 times 3, 15 plus 1. So we have 16 over 5 over here. Then you're going to cross multiply, okay? So 5 times y gives you 5y. This should be around 75, okay? And then 16 times x gives you 16x minus 48, okay? Now you're going to try to just take everybody to one side of the equation. So you're going to just say, we're going to have, 5y minus 16x, okay? Now minus 75, let's see that, minus 75 plus 48 minus 27. So we're going to have minus 27 all equal to 0. So this should be the equation of the line. Number 19, a car dealer bought a used car for 270,000 naira, like many years ago, okay, and spent 70,000 naira to refurbish it. He later sold the car for 490,000 naira. What was the percentage profit? Now, from the given question, let's calculate our cost price. Remember, your cost price is not just the amount you use in purchasing. It also entails the amount you use in making that product look presentable for sale. Okay, so the cost price in this question is going to be the 270,000 naira given plus the refurbishing fee, which was 70,000 naira. Okay, so the cost price should be 340,000 naira. Okay, and then it was sold for 490,000 naira. So already we'll see that the guy made profit. So the profit made is the difference in this value. So 490 minus 340, that's about 50,000 naira profit. Therefore, we have to find the profit percentage. Okay, it is profit over the cost price. So we have 50,000 naira divided by 340,000 naira times 100 over 1. Okay, so let's see what we're going to, 150 rather, 150. 150k, okay? So you're going to divide that by 340. So 150,000 naira divided by 340,000 naira times 100. So the percentage profit is going to be 44.12%, okay? That should be the answer. Number 20, simplify the fraction on the board. Now quickly, board mass is something you should remember from your early days in school, okay? Now from this question, first of all, let's convert all the mixed fraction to improper fraction, okay? So we can simply just like jump some steps. I'm sure you're aware of that. 3 over 4 is here, okay? Now 4 times 2, okay, let me just continue, okay? 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, 9. We have 9 over 4 as well. Okay, off means times basically. 11 times 1, 11 plus 7, that is 18 over 11 into 3 times 3, 9 plus 2, 11 over 3 minus 15 over 6. So we have this as the question. And then when you see division, you can swap to get multiplication. And then so we have 3 over 4, then swapping, you're going to get 4 over 9, okay, for this first bracket. Then times 18 over 11. Now this guy, we can quickly take the LCM. The LCM there is 6. So 3 into 6 is 2 times 11, 22 minus 15. Okay, have that over there. Now from here, you can apply your division guy. Okay, so 4 kills 4 and 3 kills 9 to remain 3 here. So we have 1 over 3, okay, in this bracket part. and times we have 18 over 11. 22 minus 15 should be like 7, right? 7. So we have 7 over 6. Okay, and then here again we can as well do some multiplication. 6 here 1, 6 into 18 is 3, and again 3 here 1, 3 here is 1. So we're left with what? 7 over 11 as our answer. Okay. Okay, number 21. In a basket of fruit, there are 6 grapes, 11 bananas, okay, 13 oranges. If one fruit is chosen as random, what is the probability that the fruit is either a grape or a banana? Okay, now quickly let's solve this question. Probability of any event, okay, is basically the number of required outcome but the number of total outcome. Now, if you hear either or, it means you are adding plus. Okay, if you hear and, you are multiplying. Now, the probability of choosing a grape. Now, how many grapes were there? We have 6 grapes. Okay, and how many fruits are in total? 6 grapes plus 11, that's 17. 17 plus 13, that's around 30. So we have 30 fruits. So if you pick a grape, it is 6 over 30, or means plus. Pick a banana. Banana is 11, so we have 11 over 30. Now, the LCM here is just 30, and then 6 plus 11 gives 17. So that should be the answer to that question. Number 22. Calculate the interior angle of a 5-sided regular polygon. Okay. Now, quickly, I'm going to just give you formulas for that guy so you can remember. Okay. For a polygon, the sum of interior angles is always n minus 2 into 180. Okay, and the law says the interior angle plus the exterior angle must always be equal to 180, and the sum of exterior must be 360. For a regular polygon, the number of sides equals to 360 divided by 1 exterior angle. Okay, since we know this on the board, now from the question given, calculate the interior angle for a 5-sided regular polygon. Now, from this formula here, since for a regular polygon, all the angles are equal, so the sum can just be n. Okay, so you can say for the regular polygon, n times 1 interior angle must be n minus 2 into 180. So the interior angle can be n minus 2 into 180 all over n. This is a shortcut to apply in this question. So let's see the interior, finding the interior angle. So the interior angle is going to be, it's a 5-sided guy, so n is 5. So we have 5 minus 2 into 180 over 5. Okay, so 5 minus 2 is 3. So we have 3 times 180 all divided by 5. So let's see what that's going to give us. Divided by 5, we have 108 as the answer. Number 23 says a banker spent 1/5 of his salary on shirts. Wow, that's great. On shirts. 1/3 of the remainder on transport. And kept the rest for contingencies. Maybe his girlfriend or something. What fraction was left? Okay, now quickly, the salary was not given, but he spent 1/5 of the salary on shirts, and then 1/3 of the remainder on transport, and then the rest was kept for contingencies. Now, we solve this question by fraction, but I'm going to give you an easy way out, okay? Because you're writing a time-based exam, so this pattern I'm going to give you now will work for any question that looks like this, okay? It must work. Try to understand very quickly. Now, let's say the salary should be a box, okay? The salary is a box. Now, the first statement was he spent 1/5. Now, 1/5 means we have 5 parts and use only 1 from inside. So we're going to bring out 5 parts from this box, okay? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he spent 1 of these parts. So that's 1/5. So what's left? Obviously, it's 4 over 5 that's left. And then they said from these remaining guys, he used 1/3, meaning now 1/3 means you have 3 parts, you used 1. So we need 3 parts from this guy. I'm going to say something like this. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you can extend the lines. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. And then you use 1 from inside, 1/3. So we're going to shade just 1 part again. Now, what is left without solving? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 over all the boxes are 15, so the fraction left is 8 over 15. That's easy, right? Yeah. Number 24. Find the probability of getting an even number in a single throw of a 6-sided die. Now for a single die, all the outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now how many are even? We have 2 even, 4 even, and 6 even. So we have 3 numbers that are even. So probability of getting an even number should become 3 over 6, and that should give you 1 over 2. Okay, that's it. Question number 25. It said integrate. I love this part. Integrate y equals 4x cubed plus 2x plus cos x. Now, integration is the reverse of differentiation. What do I mean? If y, for example, equals ax to the power of n, the integral of y with respect to x must be ax. You're going to add 1 to the power and divide by that power you've gotten, then plus c or k. Okay, so this is the general formula for integrating. Now we're given this expression, so the integral of y with respect to x becomes, now if you add 1 to 3, you're going to have 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 1. Okay, then you're going to have, there's a 1 here, right? 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1. And then for the integral for trigonometric function, if you integrate cos x, you're going to get sin x, okay? And then plus your constant. Okay, now we can simplify this part. How do I mean? 3 plus 1 is 4, so 4 cancels out 4. 1 plus 1 is 2, so 2 cancels out 2. So you're going to have the final answer to this question to be x raised to the power 4 plus x raised to the power 2 plus sin x plus k or c. That's the answer. Number 26, simplify. Minus logarithm of 0.00001 base 10. Now quickly, let's turn this guy to a fraction. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's simple as saying minus log, okay, 1 over 10 raised to the power 5, right? Then base 10. Okay, because I have minus 5, so that's 10 raised to the power 5. Now we have this on the board. Now quickly, we can turn this to indices to have minus log 10 raised to the power minus 5 base 10. And then remember the law of logarithm, okay? All power belongs to God. See what I'm saying? That if you have log x raised to the power y to base a, because all power belongs to God, every other thing that has power should be brought down, okay? So the power for y must come to the ground. Why? Remember, all power belongs to God. So you have y log x base a. Apply the same thing here. So minus 5 comes down. So minus 5 times minus 1 gives you positive 5. So you should have 5 log 10 base 10. Now in logarithm, the log of a number to the same number as the base must always give you 1. So the answer becomes 5. Okay. Number 27. The chord of a circle of radius 17 cm is 30 cm long. Calculate distance of the chord from the center of the circle. Now length of chord from circle as a plane shape. Okay. And the length of a chord has about 2 formulas to apply. But the one we're going to apply here is 2 into square root of the radius squared minus the height squared. Okay. Where h is the distance from the center of the circle to the chord perpendicular. Okay. So now in the question, we're given the length of the chord, as 30 cm. So 30 is going to be here. 2 square root of the radius was given as 17. Minus, we are looking for h squared. So first of all, 2 can take out 30. We have 15, okay? Equals, this becomes 289 minus h squared. To square both sides, so we're going to take out the square root, okay? 15 squared gives you 225 equals 289 minus h squared. So collect like terms, we're going to have h squared equals 289 minus 225. Should I give you 289 minus 225? That is 64. So h squared equals 64, and then the square root of both sides. We're going to get the height as 8 centimeters. Okay. Find number 28. Number 28. Find the limit of y equals this function. Now, as x goes to 2, okay, as x goes to 2, Now, ideally, in limit questions, you just apply the value into the function, okay? But if you do that and something occurs, then you must retrace your step, or according to the Bible, you must amend your ways. Now, how do I mean? If you put x as 2, the bottom, 2 minus 2 gives you 0. You're going to have 0 as your denominator, and it's an abomination for that to happen because something called undefined fractions. When your bottom equals 0, then that question or expression is undefined. So we don't want that. Now, so what I want to do, you have two things to apply if that happens. Number one, you can either factorize the expression, okay? Number two, you apply the L'Hopital's rule. Now, the L'Hopital's rule always works for any case. Or the other one, factorization, works for some cases where you can factorize. So the best to apply is the L'Hopital's rule. What does it mean? Differentiate every term singly or separately, okay? Don't apply the rule, don't apply product rule or quotient rule. Just differentiate separately. So if you differentiate the top, you're going to have the top x cubed gives you 3x squared, and 2x squared gives you 4x, and then we have plus 6, okay? And then the bottom gives you just 1, okay, basically. Now, let me show you something. If you have y to be equal to ax to the power of n, the y dx should be, use the power to times the entire function, and then subtract 1 from the power. That's the pattern for differentiation, okay? So now, we'll now put x as 2. So 3 into 2 squared minus 4 into 2 plus 6, okay? Now, 2 squared is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 2 is 8, and plus 6, okay? Minus 8 plus 6, that's minus 2. 12 minus 2 gives you 10. So the answer to the question is 10. Number 29. The second and the fifth terms of a GP are 1 and 1 over 8 respectively. Find the common ratio, okay? So for a GP, the first term was given as 1, okay? And sorry, the second term rather was given as 1. So we have second term is AR1, and then the fifth term, AR raised to power 4 equals 1 divided by 8. And we're asked to find the common ratio. Now, we'll just divide the equations, okay? So let's divide equation 1 by equation 2, or vice versa. Whichever way you do will still work. So let's do 2 by 1, okay? So a over a gives you, that's out. R raised to power 4 divided by r gives you r raised to power 3, and then you have 1 over 8. Okay, now this can be simplified. How do we mean? Now r raised to power 3 can be 1 over 2. 8 is 2 raised to power 3, don't forget, okay? And then whatever power you have down, I can also place it here because 1 will not have any difference. 1 raised to power 3 is still 1. 1 raised to power 2 million is still 1, okay? So why am I doing that? So that I can say r raised to power 3 equals 1 over 2 all raised to power 3, and then you can cancel out the powers. So the common ratio to the question becomes 1 over 2. Number 30. An amount of 600,000 naira was realized when a principal of y was saved for 5% simple interest for 4 years. Find the value of y. Now, for simple interest, first of all, simple interest equals to PRT over 100 if your R is in percent, or without the 100, the R is in decimal. And then the amount you're asked to find is basically principal plus the simple interest, which is in most cases simplified to be 1 into RT, okay, over 100 if it's in percentage. So these are the formulas you must remember for simple interest. Now, from the question, y was the principal. We're asked to find y. The amount was given as 600,000. 600,000 equals the P was y into 1 plus the rate was at 5%. The time was for 4 years over 100. Okay, so quickly we're going to simplify the 600,000 equals y into, now what do we have here? 100 times 1 is 100. This is 20, so we have 120 over 100 on this side. Okay, quickly 0 can take out 0. Okay, and then we have 600,000 equals this 1.2y. So divide both sides by 1.2. So let's see our answer. 600,000 divided by 1.2, and that should give you 500,000. So the answer should be 500,000 naira. Number 31. Given the progression 3, 5, 7, 9, find an expression for the n minus 2 term of the progression. So we're asked to find n minus 2. Okay. Now the progression given was an AP. How do I know? 3, 5, 7, 9. It's a common difference of how many? Of 2. The common difference here is 5 minus that's 2 because it's an AP. So for every AP, normally the nth term is a plus n minus 1d. So we have to find the n minus 2 term, meaning anywhere you see n, put n minus 2. So you're going to have t n minus 2 to be a plus n minus 2 minus 1d. So t n minus 2 equals a plus, you're going to have n minus 3d. Okay, now let's plug our values into the equation. The first term a is 3 and d is 2. So t n minus 2 equals 3 plus n minus 3 and then d is 2. So we have that. So simplifying further, you're going to have 3 plus 2 times n is 2n. 2 times 3 minus 3 is minus 6. Okay. So tn minus 2 becomes minus 6 plus 3. That's minus 3. So we're going to have 2n minus 3 as the n minus 2 term.